Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Om Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 14. Matra sparshastu kaunteya Sheet Ushna Sukh Dukhdaha Agam Apainaha Nitya Tantitikshasva Bharata. O son of Kunti, when the senses come in contact with the sense objects, one experiences cold, heat, happiness, and distress. Such experiences are flickering and temporary, O Bharat, and therefore you must tolerate them. So here Krishna first of all tells Arjun that why one experiences these bouts of happiness and distress. He gives the example of heat and cold. During the whole year, sometimes the weather is very warm and sometimes the weather is very cold. We feel this heat and cold because of our senses such as skin coming into contact with the sense objects, in this case the environment or the climate around us. This heat and cold leads to discomfort. People get disturbed. Many times they are not able to do things that they are supposed to do and face so many problems. And we make so many artificial arrangements to try and overcome this experiences of heat and cold. The moment it gets warm, we switch on our air conditioning. The moment it gets cold, we switch on the heating. And for some reason, if the heating or cooling breaks down, we feel so much distress and discomfort. Why? Because we have no ability to tolerate it. And here Krishna is telling Arjun that you must learn to tolerate these ups and downs in life. Why? He says, because they are anityaha. They are temporary. And that's a very important thing to remember. If it is discomfort weather, if it is very cold, then in due course of time it is going to warm up. And if it is very hot, in due course of time it is going to cool down. It is not permanently going to stay hot or cold. So while we should do whatever we can in order to reduce the suffering because of these changes in the weather, at the same time we should not unnecessarily get disturbed because these changes in weather are temporary. Everything in life is temporary. Every situation is temporary. At times when we are facing a difficult situation, it seems there is no way out and as if the situation is going to last forever. But if we take a deep breath, if we meditate within ourselves, if we take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord and remember that every situation will ultimately pass by and take peace in the words of the Lord, then we will have the strength to face those situations. In every negative situation, we should try to meditate on something positive. Once there was a person who boarded a very crowded bus, especially if you travel in India, Their buses are sometimes overloaded with people. People are even sitting on the top of the bus. So he boarded this extremely crowded bus where people were pushing against each other. Everyone was sweating. People were cursing. People were so upset because it was so overcrowded. But this person was absolutely calm, and he slowly made his way through the bus, because you board from the back of the bus and he had to get down from the front door, and he slowly made his way through. And even though if someone hit him, someone said anything bad to him, he did not become disturbed. So observing him like this, one of the other passengers asked him, "Oh my dear sir, how come that you are so calm when everyone else is looking so disturbed?" So he said that soon my destination will come. I will get down from the bus. I'll go to my home. There, my loving wife will be waiting for me, and she would have some nice cold juice and some snacks. I'll sit comfortably under the cooling air of the fan, and we'll have a nice chat, and I'll drink something cold and eat. So thinking of that wonderful situation that I'm going to experience in just a little while from now, I'm able to tolerate this very uncomfortable situation that I am experiencing in this crowded bus. So see, that is the mantra for always staying peaceful. And that is what Krishna is telling Arjun, that just like heat and cold, happiness and distress are also temporary. We experience them because of the contact of our senses with sense objects. If senses experience something that they like, they become very happy. If the senses experience something that they don't like, we become distressed. And all of this is happening because of a senseless mind, as Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in the Tika, that the senseless mind of an indiscriminate person, which is covered by grief and lamentation, is merely a source of misery. And it is not only the mind that produces misery. The senses, such as touch, which experience their respective sense objects through the impressions of the mind, also become a cause of trouble. And throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is going to explain to Arjun that how by the process of yoga, he is going to explain Karam Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gyan Yoga, how by the power of spiritual processes one can become tolerant and learn to face these bouts of happiness and distress. So he's telling Arjun that the same relationships that gave you so much happiness, your relationship with your grandfather Bhishma, your relationship with your teacher Dronacharya, they were source of great happiness and inspiration. But today, because of the same relationship, you are experiencing lamentation. You do not want to fight with them. But you should learn to tolerate this lamentation, and because of this lamentation, not give up your duty. As is explained in the commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur again, that there are certain things which are prescribed in the scriptures. For example, we should get up early in the morning and we should bathe and then engage in our prescribed spiritual practices. Now, when it is the winter month and it is very cold, taking bath may seem troublesome. But in spite of this, one should get up and bathe and not simply give up this obligatory routine of bathing as enjoyed in the scriptures. A simple example given by Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, that even when it is very hot, the lady of the house still continues to cook in the kitchen, especially in India where houses are not centrally air conditioned. It can get very hot in the summertime, And cooking in the kitchen, where because of the heat from the stove is already very difficult to tolerate, it is further accentuated because of the hot weather. But that does not mean that the lady of the house gives up her responsibility of cooking, because if she stops cooking, then no one in the house will have anything to eat. So she tolerates that discomfort. Why? Because of the higher purpose of feeding her family members. So if our mind is always focused on the higher purpose of life, then we would be able to tolerate the temporary discomforts of the body. And nowadays, because we have lost track of what the real purpose of life is, we have lost focus of why the human life is so important. We have forgotten what is the real duty of human life. Athato Brahm Jigyasa. That now that you have this human life, you must engage in inquiring who you are, who the absolute truth is, and what is your relationship with that absolute truth, and how to obtain that relationship. Because we think the only purpose of life is to eat, drink, and be merry, then anything that causes obstructions or problem in our goal of eating, drinking, and being merry causes us discomfort. But Krishna is saying, "O Arjun, you have a higher purpose. Your higher purpose of fighting in this battle of Kurukshetra is to eradicate all the demoniac kings from the face of earth and fulfill my mission of paritranay sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam." So even though this may appear not the most comfortable thing to do, you must tolerate this lamentation. This is how your mother and those from your father's side acted, and you have to follow in their example. In the same verse, Krishna addresses first Arjun as Kaunteya. Kaunteya means son of Kunti. Kunti was the paternal aunt of Krishna, Bua of Krishna, and a great devotee of him. Towards the end of battle of Kurukshetra, she prays to Krishna, "Vipadaha santuh taha shashvat, tatra tatra jagat guru, bhavato darshanam yat syat, apunar bhava darshanam." I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated birth and death. So Arjun's mother Kunti is praying to Krishna, "Oh Lord, give me more misery, because when I get more misery, then I can think of you." So Krishna is telling Arjun that why are you running away from lamentation? See, your mother is asking for misery so that she can have my darshan, and I am here right next to you. So you must not run away from your responsibility. Then he also refers to him as Bharat, because he is coming in the lineage of Maharaj Bharat, who was a great king, and everyone in that dynasty demonstrated complete dedication to their duties despite all difficulties that they faced. To learn to tolerate is real knowledge. In Srimad Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 13, Krishna says, "Amanitvam adma bhivitam ahimsa kshantihir arjavam." He says, humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance. Kshantihir means tolerance. And then he explains simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, and several other such attributes to be knowledge. And he says, besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. So he says that to learn to be tolerant is sign of someone who is knowledgeable. Someone who is ignorant about the nature of events happening. Someone who thinks, oh, this distress that I'm facing right now is going to stay forever, is actually not knowledgeable. Now, one important thing is that being tolerant does not become we should become complacent. Krishna is only telling Arjun here that because of the fear of suffering from lamentation, you should not give up your duty. He's telling him, don't become complacent. You have to tolerate and you have to fight. You cannot give up your duty. You cannot give up your responsibility. And this is the need of the hour also, where we need to learn to focus on the higher purpose of life and give up our laziness in matter of spiritual practices, which we see all around us today. And this is the main cause of all the suffering, all the frustration, all the stress, all the problems that we in the society. If we all can give up our laziness in the matter of spiritual practices and focus on the higher purpose of life, then this world will become Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Have a very blessed day.